Yes, everybody, happy lunchtime. Let's go and talk about the Julian Lopetegui press conference ahead of the Spurs game, which has just finished. So Julian gave his thoughts ahead of the game coming up at the weekend against Spurs. Maybe a bit better of a press conference than we've usually had with him. We talk about obviously team news, his potential tactics, single out a few players, and also spoke about at the end about Thomas Tuchel's England management selection. So let's get into it and let's talk team news. So in terms of take that logo out. Sorry, Alloy Collectors, I do love you. Team news. It's as I think we predicted and as we alluded to very early on early this morning, about 11 o'clock, put a video out about 𝙁𝙐𝙇𝙆𝙍𝙐, and it does seem that's the only issue. It's true that we have a lot of players out in a lot of countries right now. We don't have them all here until the last moment. We will not be all together, which is always difficult, but it happens to lots of teams, but not just us. So we have to be able to manage this and be ready for the next game. So by the sounds of that, it seems those who are more further afield are not yet back. So one can only assume the likes of Paqueta and Antonio primarily, and maybe 𝙁𝙐𝙇𝙆𝙍 possibly. But this is, I think that 𝙁𝙁𝙇 is out, but I'm going to meet with the rest, and we don't have any bad news about them. He was then pressed a bit more about Nicholas's injury, and basically he said he initially thought he had one non-important injury. Surely all the injuries are important, but he has had complications, and we are waiting to recover him. We thought he would be out for a maximum of 2 weeks, but right now he is out, and I don't say anything about how long he will be out. We will see. So maybe the revelations from that XWG employee that we spoke about this morning, that he is unlikely to be featured in weeks rather than days, could be a case. I suppose we'll have to wait and see what happens next week with the Man United game, as another game that he was earmarked to potentially be back in time. So it does look like 𝙁𝙁𝙇 is going to be out for Saturday, and who knows, maybe next Saturday as well. And then the conversation went to Spurs, which is always useful because we are playing them. Asked about their qualities. He said, I think Ange changed a lot of things in their team. In my opinion, he made their players and team better, and that's why I like to see this team. They work together, but we have to put the focus on us and have an answer, because we have to be on it to get the win. Our fans will demand the best from us, and this is a good thing. They support us always, so we have to be ready to play well, be a strong and solid team, and to beat them. It's not easy, but we will try to do it. Obviously, in terms of the importance of the Spurs win and following on from the Ipswich game, he says we're happy to have had one victory, but we now focused 100% on the next challenge against one of the best teams in the Premier League. They have really good intensity, players and ideas. I like to watch them. We can't fully prepare for the match because players have been away, but that is not an excuse. I know about this derby, and we have to put the focus on the football. We have to put our focus only on the play and the ball, and that's so different from all other matches. I don't actually understand what he means by that last sentence. But when he was pressed about maybe Spurs naturally have a work off a high line, and how can we get the win? How can we beat the Spurs high line, basically? And basically, he sort of said we will try to beat this kind of high line situation, playing well and winning a lot of mini matches on the pitch. We have to have all the answers, but I'm not going to talk about my tactics here. Each match is very important for us. Each away match will be different to play the last away matches we played. Like Ipswich was not the same as our other home matches at home. It does sometimes sound like with Lopetegui that it's a bit like ChatGPT, and it's just like, put a stock answer, please, bosh. you don't really get a lot out of it. Obviously, this is the broadcast section. Well, then, there'll be the embargo section where maybe they'll ask more pressing questions about Nicholas Füllkrug, and maybe that will come out later on tonight, if not tomorrow, over the weekend, in terms of a bit more information about his timeline potentially. Then he was asked about Kudus. Obviously, we'll talk about it a bit later on, but not a great international break for him and Edson Alvarez, to be honest, but more so Kudus, I'd suggest, with Ghana needing a virtual miracle to qualify for the AFCONs, and asked about how he's, how he's playing so far and that type of thing. He said he's a good player and our player, and we use him as we feel. He can improve a lot of things like every player, but he is working hard and has very good commitment every day, and we are happy for him for sure. I should probably... No, I was going to do it in a Spanish accent, but that's be highly offensive. And obviously, in essence, Julian's been there for a few months now in terms of West Ham. And he was asked a specific question about what's impressed him since coming to West Ham in terms of the players and the quality of the players. And he basically said the best thing until now is the commitment of the players. They work hard and they know they have to work things very hard every day to achieve things. And also, I'm happy that they do everything as a team. I'm happy with this commitment, and we are trying to improve with and without the ball. Always doing so, thinking as a team. Sometimes you need leadership on the pitch, and it happens naturally. And we are trying to encourage them to take this step as you feel it is important. So that's an interesting line, I think, in terms of leadership. That's an issue I think we've seen as a fan base from watching on the pitch. Maybe a lack of clear leadership, being shown. And by being shown, we're meaning shouting and sort of dragging players. And a bit like what Martinez would do, Declan Rice would do it at times as well, in terms of just, showing you're the leader. And it's something which I think we don't necessarily have on the pitch. I don't think we've got it as our club captain, I'll be honest. But I don't see Jared outside of that 90 minutes. So I don't know what he's like as a man captain, so to speak, in terms of not a man manager, but as a team captain. What's he like there? But on the pitch, I feel that, I'd rather Jared just concentrates on his own game rather than necessarily, looking at captainship. But as we see there, something they're trying to encourage is people taking responsibility and taking more leadership. That was it for the Spurs, in essence, game, and a bit about West Ham in general. But he was asked some questions. Obviously, the big news coming out yesterday was Thomas Tuchel becoming England manager, and they asked him about that. And he goes, congratulations to him. I think the pressure is with our job, no matter who you are managing, because the pressure to win games is the same. However, the difference is that you don't have the players all the time, and you have to be ready to prepare them in a short period of time. Obviously, Julian, for a short time, was the Spain national manager, so he comes from experience. But I repeat, when you are managing, the pressure is there to win matches. And that's the same whether you are managing a club or country. Insightful there from Mr. Lopetegui. And then someone said, well, aren't there any good English managers and coaches if we have to go to Germany to get one of theirs? And he basically said there are. I think there are good coaches. They're very good. But you only have to choose. You only have one to choose, and the FA have chosen Thomas Tuchel. I don't have anything to add to other than to congratulate him. Why they chose a non-foreign coach, why they chose a foreign coach, you meant, Julian, is not my decision. You have had very good coaches in England too, and Gareth Southgate did a very good job, in my opinion. And that was it. That was it. So hopefully this has saved you having to go through all the adverts at the beginning and the end, and not being able to hear the questions from the journalists. A little bit better in terms of audio today, but that was it. So definitely Füllkrug will be out. I think Anton's doing the starting 11 show on Saturday morning. Yeah, that's it. Until then, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. We'll be back for Hammer's headlines later on, talking about... We're going back to Brazil, boys and girls. We're going back to Brazil for our January transfer signings. 2 signings from Brazil have been linked in the last day, and we'll talk about Lucas Paqueta and his hearing in Brazil and a bit of confusion about how that's going to work out, particularly as it's sandwiching between 2 league games for us. And then we'll talk about the international break. We single out 𝙁𝙐𝙇𝙆𝙍𝙐𝙁. Not great weeks for them internationally, but a good week for Callum Marshall. So enjoy that. That'll be out later on this afternoon. Take care. Much love. Also tonight on the West Ham Network Extra channel, as you know, we've got the West Ham Network Extra. Alex will be doing a preview with a Spurs fan. So if you're not subscribed to that, please do. And make sure you join Alex tonight. I think it's 9:00 with the Spurs fan previewing the game on Saturday. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come on, you bloody Irons. Much love. Bye-bye.